Good morning, everybody. It's Patrick coming at you on October 1st, Friday, from Denver Health here in Colorado. Hope everybody's doing well today. I thought I would give you a little bit of an update this morning instead of sending a text message. And then I'll give you a little background on what the heck happened and how I got here. So first on the update, I'm actually doing very well. So we're making good progress, day 14 here, and working on PT every day, increasing the time I can actually sit up. And yesterday I actually was able to leave the room in a wheelchair for the first time and zoom around a little bit. Overall, the pain management has been great. Doctors have been great. A little window in the morning is pretty brutal, but once I get through that, I'm in good shape. So great progress. And the big goal right now is to make it home to California on Monday and be there in time for Zach's 17th birthday. So that's what I'm really shooting for and trying to push. And it looks like right now it's going to happen. So cross your fingers for me. Really, I hope I can get home for that. So what the heck happened? Here's a little bit of background. Every year I try to take an annual trip. It usually turns into like every 2 or 3 years based on schedule and commitment. But I go do a backcountry archery elk hunting trip. And I do it with a friend or two every year. And so this year I was fortunate enough to have the time to do it. And so we headed out on the great adventure. If I have enough time, I really like to drive because that's what I call my drive about time and more time to kind of check out and think. And so I drove this year and stopped off in Utah. Saw a good friend, Mike Wolber, got a great catch up and that was super fun. Made it to Colorado and then my friend Dave Rittenhouse and I packed in on the 12th of September. About 10 miles in on horseback, 10,000 feet elevation at base camp, and spent the next many days exerting ourselves. Very strenuous hiking and elk hunting, which was unproductive, very unproductive, unfortunately. So we packed out a little bit early and a couple days early, got back into Glenwood Springs, which is kind of our area that we set up in every year. And Dave, we repacked our stuff, had an amazing day in Glenwood Springs. Best breakfast I think we've ever had, me and Dave. It was quite memorable. And Dave packed up and flew home to California. And I decided to stay on a couple extra days to see if I could find that elusive elk. And so I went out on Saturday morning, the 18th, which is planning on doing a morning hike, just to kind of poke around, nothing big and crazy. So I hiked up this terrain that kind of paralleled the highway, it's like a 2-lane road that follows a river. But I hiked up and I got up to the top, sat down after about 45 minutes of hiking, did a Garmin message to Darcy saying that I was going to turn around because even if I got something back in there, I'm not sure I could pack it out. And so I was just going to head back. So I only had like a half, or 100 yards, 150 yards, maybe just diverse. And I started going back, and then I was gonna kind of hit the side hill and go down to the car. The last thing I remember. Somehow I fell down a cliff, about 50 yards. I'm normally pretty careful, and I spent a lot of time in the backcountry, so I don't make stupid mistakes very often. I have no idea what happened. Anyway, the good thing is, of all the circumstances that could have come together for this thing, I think if this accident happened 1,000 times, I'd probably survive one of them. And so I am very fortunate that this was the one time. And so I literally fell down the cliff, had a heavy backpack on and stuff, so I think that broke up my fall. And I landed right next to the road, which in any other scenario, I would have been hiking or hunting or anything else. I would have been nowhere near a road. And but for some freak reason, I fell down next to the road. Motorcyclist came by, found me very shortly after. There's no cell reception, so they went back a ways to their cell reception and called, got the paramedics, got some help, and got me back to the hospital in Glenwood Springs. And they had to life flight me into Denver for trauma center. So got here, the result was 15 of my 24 ribs broken. Had to have some plates put into the ribs. My vertebrae, unfortunately, T11 is fractured. And so my legs, at least as we know it now, are not usable any longer. And some other bang ups in there, liver scar or liver laceration stuff. But overall, I made it. And it's shocking that I made it. My buddy Dave that had been out there with me and had left, he came back. He ended up talking to paramedics. And those guys were shocked that that guy's still alive. So I am just, like I said in my last video, I'm just calling this just happy to be here window, and I really am. I can't imagine not being able to connect with any of my friends or family or anybody else anymore. And I really am just thankful that by some freak of circumstance, I survived something that I probably otherwise shouldn't have survived. So that's the kind of summed up version. Got everything kind of bolted up and repaired, and I've been in hospital since and trying to get home on Monday. So I'm going to give some other info and stuff on future updates, but that's the quick and dirty version. Thanks for watching. All the notes and conversations and prayers and everything else mean the world to me right now, and it's what's getting me through day to day. So keep them coming. And I'm going to be just fine. I am just happy to be here. Have a great day, everybody.